Hey everybody, how are you? This is Cheryl. Thanks for joining me today on my live. If you're new to my channel, welcome. I'm glad you stopped by. My name is Cheryl Horvath and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator here in Woodinville, Washington. And when I'm not here, I'm in Surprise, Arizona. So that's actually where I'll be filming from next week. I've been gone for a couple of weeks from travel and then I just didn't have my act together enough last week to put a live together. So, but I'm back in full swing and lots of stuff going on, lots of projects. I have so many things kind of up in the air right now, but really fun. I spent yesterday designing some party favors for some Etsy customers of mine, and that's always fun. I love doing new designs on stuff. But today I have a fun card to share with you and a little tag if we have time using the Delivering Cheer stamp set. This one is from the mini catalog. I should have had this ready. I didn't think about that. This particular stamp set, let me go down to my desk. This particular stamp set does not have a coordinating die, but it's really easy to cut out. So, and we are going to fussy cut a little bit today, if I can find it. Where are you? There it is. So, let's move this. My project bucket. This is the set we're going to use today. It is the most adorable set. I love it. It doesn't look like much from the pictures, but once you bring it to life with a little bit of color and some dimension, it speaks for itself. The woman either in the dress or the overcoat is just, and there's something just super cute about that I love. So it's versatile. You can use it for like a celebration, happy birthday, or these could be Christmas presents as well. This is like a bouquet of flowers. You could dress that up for Christmas or make it a springtime bouquet, anything like that. And then I think my most favorite part about this set are these little leg warmers. Actually, they're tights, I think, but they're patterned, and so you stamp them on her legs, and I'll show you how I do that. But it's just a really cute set. It's $18, and it's available in this particular catalog through the end of December. So get it while you can. Speaking of getting it while you can, who took advantage of, hey Darcy, thanks for joining, how are you? Who took advantage of the 24-hour sale yesterday? I know I did. I didn't go overboard. I only got 3 sets. But what I bought was sentiment sets, because for some reason when I'm flipping through the catalog and I'm making my list of things that I want to buy or things that I think I need, I overlook the sentiment sets, and then next thing I know, I watch somebody making a really cute card, but they pull out a different set to grab a sentiment from, and I never have it. It's like I usually have the set, but I don't have the separate ones that are sentiments. I don't know if you're interested to show you which ones I got. Actually, I don't even remember the names of them, so I'm not going to bother showing them to you right now. But anyway, I got a huge discount on it because it was 15% off, and then you got your demo discount. So I got 25, I got 40% off my stamps yesterday. So hopefully you guys were able to take advantage of that. There were some really great deals. Okay, enough about that. So we're going to be using, I'll show you the sets we're going to be using today. We're going to be using this one, and then this, see, here's a sentiment set. I actually bought this one. We're going to be using 'Tis the Season, this little guy here. Couple different designs we'll use, and then for the inside of the card, this is a from the annual catalog. I love this set. It was, I'm going to call it last year's version because I got this set last year, but the buffalo plaid and the buffalo check is so stinking popular right now, and this has a coordinating punch with it, which I dearly love. So you might see some more Christmas cards from me this year using this set just because I love it so much. So there's that. And then the other components we're going to use, we're going to do some coloring. We're going to be using one of these stars, and these are really beautiful. They're called Wonderful Snowflakes, and you get 24 in a pack, and they're iridescent, almost. So they're very pretty, very delicate, but I used that on the card. And then the ever popular buffalo check. We're going to use some evergreen and basic black. And then the colors I chose are right here. So we're going to do cinnamon cider, the light and dark evening evergreen. We're going to do light and dark smoky slate, light and dark cherry cobbler, and then I do put a little bit of dark shaded spruce in there too. So those are our colors. Okay, so let's get started. Let me set this aside. Why don't you grab a cup of coffee or a beverage of your choice and get comfortable, and we're going to walk through making this card. Okay, grab my trimmer. I do have a piece of 8.5 by 5.5 black, basic black cardstock cut already. This is going to be our base. Oh, I should show you the card we're going to make. The card today looks like this, and it's what they call a bookbinding fold. So you've got a seam right here that opens like that. So this is the card we're going to make today. You can see there's the snowflake I used, and then the inside. So very, very simple, very sweet. And oh, the embossing folder, I forgot to show you that one, is this, which is the, gosh darn it, I forget the name of it, and the tag is behind me, but I'll grab it and I'll show you. So this goes through the mini Stampin' Cut Emboss machine, so we're going to use that today too. So here's the card we're going to be designing, or going to be making today. So we're going to do a basic, start with a basic score line at 4 1/4. And then the bookbinding score is another 3/4 inches. So I'm just going to shift this 3/4 inches more. Let me do this up top so I can see. So I was at 4 1/4, and then I need 3 more quarters. So there's another 3/4 to go. So there's 5, and I'm going to score at 5. So 4 1/4 and 5 is your score lines. And we're going to fold and burnish. I should have put my paper pad out, because working on black is always a challenge for me. And then there's a score line right here. We're going to fold this back the other way, like so, and give that a good score. So you've just created, and then what's going to happen is we're going to glue this down flat so that only this part opens. But before we glue it down, we want to add our ribbon here and our embellishment. So for that, we used a piece of cherry cobbler, which I have some scrap right here. So it's going to be 3/4, no, this is 3/4, so we're going to make it a 1/2 inch. So there's a little bit of border. So we're going to cut this at 1/2 inch by 5 1/4, which should be, yep, already there. So that's good. And then since we have our score buddy out, or our cutter, let's just do the inside, which I happen to know is, I think it's 3 1/4, but let's just double check. Yeah, it's 3 1/2, so we're going to drop it down by 1/4 inch. So we're going to do 3 1/4 wide by 5 1/4 tall. That gives us 1/4 inch for the border around. And I always keep my lighter scraps. I have a scrap bucket right in front of me. There's a magnet wall, and not a magnet wall, but I've got metal strips that my husband attached to the wall. And so this is my scrap bucket. scrap printer paper, but it's actually scrap basic white paper. And you'd be amazed at how often I just, you know, that's not much of a scrap, but I reach for it and it, like, this is a great piece just to use for label dies or something. I keep everything when it comes to my basic white. You know, these are long skinny strips, but they work perfectly for sentiments. So I have a bucket and there's magnets on the back. And so it just literally sticks to the wall immediately in front of me that I have access to very quickly, and it keeps the mess off my desk, and that's important. So we don't like a mess on the desk. Okay, I think that's all the cutting we need to do with this, so we're gonna set this aside. I got some people who look like you're online with me. Hello, welcome. Say hello in the comments, let me know where you're from. Okay, so back to this, and we need our ribbon, which I already got out. So there's a couple different ways you can do this ribbon. There's a couple different ways you can do to tie this ribbon. It's wildly popular and it's been sold out twice, I believe, and it might actually be on back order at this point. So the first option people typically go to is they cut a piece long enough to tie all the way around like this, and so it would, you'd cut it here and you'd tie your bow, but you've got all this waste on this side, which kind of bugs me. So if you are trying to minimize how much you use for this card, let's see, for example, I would cut this piece probably about that long. So how long is that? That is about 21 inches. Okay, so 21 inches versus you could do it a different way where you're basically, you're going to cut a piece that's 12 inches like this, and you're going to tie the bow up top. So I'm leaving a big long tail down here. You're going to tie the bow up top and fuss with it a little bit. Get it just about the right size you'd like. See if I did this correctly, it will work. So I have a bow now that looks like this. Right, so you've got a long tail and a short tail, and you're just going to lay it down on your card where you want the bow to fall, and I want my bow up, kind of up top. And so then, actually, let's get it on this side. So then what you're going to do is just tape the ends to the inside, like so. You got to be careful you don't pull your bow open. So it's a little tricky. It does save about 50% of your ribbon though. So what I would suggest doing is grab your glue dots. Grab your glue dots, and we're gonna fold one in half, and we're gonna place it on the back of the knot. Of your bow. Okay, so that's going to kind of hold it in place for you so you don't accidentally tug it tight, too tight when you're, what have I done here? There we go. So we're going to place this bow, I'm going to stick it right there. Oh shoot, I need to put the red down first, darn it. Let's do that. So this goes right here, and that's going to go down with some glue. And I have 3 bottles of glue going right now because they're temperamental. Sometimes they don't want to spit anything out. This one actually did okay. So you're going to put down your little red base first, like so. And then, what side did we have our bow on? There it is. And then we're going to stick our bow right about there. Like so. And you're going to open the card up. I'm going to grab another glue dot. I find that glue dots hold fabric the best. I struggle getting glue to work because it feels like it just soaks right through the fabric and just kind of dissipates. So stick a glue dot right there. Make sure it's straight on the front. Then we're going to bring this guy down. Hold it over. Grab another glue dot. Who else hates the way these glue dots are packaged on the back side of the strips? That drives me nuts. Bonkers, even. Like so. I'm going to check it one more time to make sure it's straight. Like so. And boom, stick that down. Now we have a nice cute little bow that took 50% of the ribbon. So I'm also, just because I'm a little, I don't like things shifting around on me, I'm going to put a couple of glue dots right underneath. Darcy, I think you said you took part in that sale. What'd you get? I hope you got something fun. I'm going to stick one right there. Now, the one thing you don't have with your bow when you do it this way is you don't have any tails. So you can see here, there's two little tails. Now the other way you could do this is instead of a bow, you could just tie a straight knot, and then, or you could actually just put your piece down and then tie another little bow and glue the bow down separately. That's another way you could do it. And if you're not interested in fussing with all of that, then I would just wrap it around the entire card and use the 20 inches. Okay, let's get rid of that. So now we're going to glue this shut, like so. And you know what, I think we're going to use tear and tape for that. I used glue on my example, but it did take a little bit to dry, and I don't want to have to waste that time waiting without worry of messing up my card. So I'm just going to put 2 strips down here like so. It doesn't even matter that you don't go all the way to the ends, but you can. Take that off just to be, I will stick a little glue here where I didn't get the tear and tape. Just close that shut. The party puffins, those are awesome. I have that set also. Okay, I need a glue dot right here. I can tell. It's moving around on me. Come on. Okay, there's that. Now we're going to get the embossing folder out and do a little dry embossing. Let's get that out of the way with this guy. Since I pre-cut this, oh, this was pre-cut for the inside, but you know what? It's going to also, it's the same size you need for the outside. So we still have to cut one more piece. So I'm just going to lay this right in the center, like so. Grab your emboss machine, either the big one or the little one. I like the mini, especially for videos because it doesn't take up so much room. And the sandwich that you need for this particular folder is the 3D folder. So you need plate number 1 and then plate number 4. And you can see right on the plate, it shows you in use with 3D embossing folders. And then it shows you plate 1 and plate 4 with the embossing folder in between. So your sandwich looks like this: plate 1, and then your embossing folder, and then plate number 4. And then you're just going to run that through. One of the past card sets. Oh, okay. Cool. I can't wait to see what you do with it. All right, so there's our pretty little background. And that's going to go down, straight down with glue or adhesive. Actually, we can use our Stampin' Seal Plus for this. I had a love-hate relationship with this stuff for the longest time, and then I learned how to use it properly. And it's hard, for some reason, when you get closer to the end of the roll, it starts to misbehave a little bit more. But I think the trick for me is to not press so hard. And then when you're done rolling, you want to kind of snap and pull up like that, as opposed to just pulling away. That's just how it works for me. Okay, so here we have our card base done. Set that up there. We are going to move on to the stamping. So we need some just basic white cardstock, and I'm going to jump into my scrap and pull out something from there. Well, that's actually not really a scrap. That's a nice card panel. I think, is this long enough? No, not quite. All right, so we'll use this one. It's ugly, but it'll work. And this is a photopolymer set, so I like to use my little mat. We're going to stamp the body, or her feet, first. I found it easier to line up the stamps when I do her feet first. Like so. And just so you know, these little white dots right here, those are intentional. That's not a miss ink. That's supposed to be like highlights, shadowing, or something on the boot. But at first I thought, oh man, that didn't stamp right, but it's part of the stamp, so it's supposed to look like that. Oops, I don't need to put that away. Clean that off real fast. Then we're going to do my favorite part, which is the little tights that she's wearing. Look. They're so cute. I just love it. I have to get my head over the top of this to line it up, so I'm going to stand up, and apologies if you see my head. There. I love that. I love the tights. We're going to color them too. All right, and then for the top, we're going to use the evergreen tree. And again, I need to kind of stamp up. Now, I saw somebody stamp the evergreen tree in green ink. I think it was Patty from Patty Stamps. And the reason she did that was because she didn't want the black on her tree. She wanted it green, which makes sense. But then her sleeves that are part of the stamp, see her sleeves right here, those also came out green with the mittens, and that's why I didn't like that part. So I did try it both ways, and I actually prefer it with black. So I did black. Let's see, I think I can show you one. This is one that I did with green ink. Can you see how the outline of her gloves are green versus the black? I guess the green is so subtle you almost can't even tell, but I like the black. So black it is. All right, now we're going to do some really easy coloring. If you're afraid of coloring, don't be. This goes so fast and so easy. I start with my darkest first. So I'm going to go with the Evergreen Dark, Evening Evergreen Dark, and I'm going to zoom in just a little bit more so you guys can see what I'm doing here. Oh, the Prized Peony set. I don't think I have that one. I'm trying to think of what that is. Okay, so I'm using the bullet nib as opposed to the brush end. You could use the brush end and just flick, but do you see how wide that gives you? Now you could do that for the center, but for the edges, when you flick, you get a much thinner line. So if you want to use both nibs, you can definitely kind of fill in the center, which is where it naturally would be darkest, with the brush, and then flip over to, now Evening Evergreen is really quite dark, so it's going to dry a little bit lighter than what you see here, but that's why I came in with the Shaded Spruce, because it gave it just a little bit more of a nice bright green color. So this is Evening Evergreen Light, and I'm just doing some, don't have to follow the lines, you can add as many wispies as you want, like so. And see, I think that looks nice just like that, but let's see what happens when we add a little bit of the brighter green to it. You guys see the difference? I like it. You don't want to overwork it too much. See how fast and easy that was? Then we're going to use cinnamon cider and just color in the tree trunk. No shading needed. It's so small. Just mark it brown. Then I'm going to start with Smoky Slate Light. Do you see how there's a little gap where I didn't line up the stamps perfectly? Right there. If that bugs you, just grab a black pen, a Sharpie, or whatever you have. If you have a black Stampin' Write marker, and just close the line. There. See, all better. Alright, so I'm going to go in now with my Smoky Slate Light. Do the cuffs, but we're going to do her mittens red, so don't color those in. See, I like to use my big end for this. Like so. Like that. Now, if you didn't want to shade, you don't have to. I'm going to shade a little bit and bring in my Smoky Slate Dark, and I'm just going to accent a little bit along these fold lines. and a little bit at the top. It would be darker up there. And a little bit here. If you want, if those lines bother you, you can come back in with the light and just kind of blend them in a little bit. Now that does actually darken up your light shade a little bit more, but it blends the lines. So then we're going to put in, we're going to do gray and red tights. Let's see here. I'm going to do every other row, like so. And then I'm using Cherry Cobbler Light with the bullet nib. Like so, isn't that cute? And then the mittens. That little pop of red just, to me, really makes it. I'm just using a little bit of the dark Cherry Cobbler just to give a little bit of highlight to the mitten. There you go, folks. That's all the coloring there is. Super easy. Now we just need to fussy cut. And I don't know what I did to my paper snips, but I messed them up somehow. There's a spot on the blade of the scissors that just doesn't cut anymore. So, and the snips have been on back order forever, but I think they're coming back in soon. And so now I'm using my Tim Holtz snips, which are pretty good, but they leave a tiny little jagged edge, which I don't really particularly care for, but so when you're cutting out the fir tree, don't be precise. Just use your left hand, your less dominant hand, the hand without the scissors in it, and just turn it back and forth like this. Don't try to use your hand to go around like this because you're going to end up getting frustrated. So turn with your left hand, cut with your right. And it doesn't have to be precise at all. You're just, and it's going to show up on a white background, so you're not even going to hardly see it. In fact, if you just wanted to do this and cut it out like this, you could hardly tell because it's going to be on white. I'll show you what it looks like in a sec. But for the most part, really easy to fussy cut. So let me show you. When you put it down, well, actually the angle looks weird. You can actually tell. And this was kind of exaggerated. I probably wouldn't have left it like that. But my point is that you don't, because you're putting this down on top of a white background, you're really not going to see the imperfections of how well you fussy cut around the tree. That's my point. Because if you had a dark background, see the difference? See how much you can tell? You need to be more precise when it's dark, but when it's light, you don't have to be quite so precise. But I'm just going to finish trimming these out real fast. I like to fussy cut. I kind of have some OCD about it in terms of making sure it's even all the way around. Like right now what I'm doing, I don't really need to do this, but I can tell it's a little bit fatter. There. Okay. So there's that. Now we're going to do one more set of stamping with There's this, in the stamp set, there's this little piece of, right here, it's like ground for her to stand on. And at first I thought this is going to be too tricky to do over the top of an embossed panel already. But I didn't want to put it down first and then emboss it, because then it would, I think, look weird. But it turns out that you can stamp right over the embossing, and because it's got this jagged edge already on it, you really can't tell any imperfections. So I put this down, kind of put her in the center, figure out where I want her ground to be standing on. Let's see. And that's not right. I'm going to do it that way. And then I just move this up, give it a stamp, turn it around, give it another stamp just like that. Sorry if my head was in the way. I wasn't even thinking about that. Then she's going to look like she's standing on kind of some piece of ground. The next thing is the snowflake and the sentiment. So let me grab that. For the sentiment, we're going to use the Stamparatus because it's a solid background stamp. And when I stamped it all by itself, it didn't come out very clear. Did I keep it? No, I probably pitched it. I should have saved it to show you. Well, I can still show you. So, well, you're going to see it when I do the demo when I actually make it. So I'm going to grab another piece of my scrap from my scrap bucket. Just going to set this down, put there. Set this on the paper where you want it. In this case, we're going to fussy cut it out, so it doesn't really matter. Close the lid, and oh, you know what? Because this is a red rubber stamp, we don't need the foam inside. So when you're using the Stamparatus with photopolymer, which is the clear stamps, you want the foam inside, and then when you use the red rubber, you take the foam out. So there's that trick. Otherwise it will smush on you. You don't want it to smush on you. I think I need to back the camera out again a little bit. Sorry for the glare on that. Okay, so now we have our stamp positioned. We're going to ink it up. Make sure you get good coverage. So that's covered pretty well. And let me show you what the first impression does. Okay, do you see how it's sketchy? It's not very solid. That's why we're using the Stamparatus, so that it stays in the exact same position. So then you're going to re-ink and then re-stamp. There. See how much better that is? Nice and crisp. So it's worth it for me to have this stamp positioning tool because of sentiments like this. There's another one that we sell, I think it's called the Biggest Thanks stamp set, and it's got big bold letters that if you stamp in black, it doesn't receive the ink as well the very first time, and so I use it for that stamp set also. And then another good thing to use the Stamparatus for is if you're doing lots of repeat stamping, because you just throw that stamp right there in the Stamparatus and just keep stamping over and over again. Okay, we're going to cut this out. Just a basic rectangle, nothing to it. I'm actually going to round the edges. Darcy, the Stamparatus is a lifesaver to some people, and they use it for everything. Before I joined Stampin' Up, I pretty much had, I had the mini Misty, and I had the full-size Misty, and anytime I did a card project, I was using the Misties to stamp. But for some reason, when I got into Stampin' Up stamps, I felt like I didn't need it. So I use it for only special things. But so this is going to go like this, and we need the snowflake. So be gentle pulling these out because they are paper and they will tear. And I'm just going to put a little dab of glue right in the center here. And just set this to the side. Make sure that your snowflake edges don't extend beyond the side of your card. Like this one almost does, but I like how it peeks out a little bit against the black. I'm not even going to worry about stamping the rest of the stuff down. I'm going to use some dimensionals because that's going to help hold some of these down also. Like that. Where did I get the snowflakes? The snowflakes, Darcy, are from the, I think they're from the mini catalog. Let me look in just a sec. Let me put this down. So this is just going to go, she's going to stand right on top of that little snowbank. Just go like that. And then this is going to go like that. So we need a couple minis. I think the snowflakes, if I recall, were part of a suite, but you can buy them independently. I think they might have been part of the Peaceful Place, maybe. I'll have to look. Whoops. So I'm just going to set this just like so. Did I get it straight on the first try? No, of course not. Arg. And now it is stuck to my snowflake. Okay. There. Cute, huh? And now we just have to finish the inside. But let me see if I can find those stamps or snowflakes for you, because I'm pretty sure if anybody else knows before I do, please say so. See, I thought they were from this suite, but now I don't see them. Oh, there they are. We will find them, Darcy. I'm looking for you. Here they go. From the Whimsy and Wonder Suite Collection. They're on page 25. And it's item number 3. They're wonderful snowflakes. They're $6 for 24. So that's a really good deal. Very nice. And they just add that little extra touch, that sparkle and shimmer to the card. You see how that's shimmering and sparkling? It's pretty. Definitely worth the $6 spend for sure. Okay, so we need to cut a little piece for the inside. And that was 3 1/4 by 5 1/4. And then let's just make sure that's the right size. And it is. Okay. Then we're going to use that Christmas tree stamp that I mentioned earlier right here. And we're going to stamp it off twice. I'm going to use the 3rd generation stamp of it. Put that on a block like so. This is the C block. grab this back, and then I need a piece of scrap paper to stamp off on. I'm digging through my trash right now, looking for a piece of scrap. Here, I found one. I tell you, I throw stuff away, but I pull it right back out. Okay, we're going to use Evening Evergreen. And I'm going to show you, we're going to stamp once, twice, and then the third time is going to go right here in the center. Did anybody else start singing 3 Times a Lady from Lionel Richie? Once, twice, 3 times a lady? Probably not, just me. I'm a dork. So there's that. Pull out our sentiment that we're going to use, which is from this, Sending Love and Christmas Cheer. And right over the top of the tree. So it kind of matches the theme of the front. You've got a Christmas tree and a Christmas tree. I just thought that was cute. Put a little Seal Plus on the back. There you go. There's our card. What do you guys think? Cute, huh? What time is it? It's 11:46. So it's a little bit long to do the tag I wanted to show you, but I kind of prepped it before we started just so that I could show you, and I'm casing it actually from the catalog. So let me pull this back out again and I'll show you. So this tag right here, I don't care for the colors that they used, but it's a tag. Actually, this is a tag using the Tag Toppers punch, which is the Delightful Tag Topper. So it looks like this. And what they did was they cut a 2-inch piece, a 2-inch rectangle. It probably was, let's see, where did my sample go? This was a die cut tag, but it's probably 2 by 4, and then they ran it through the tag topper to give it the tag. They adhered a piece of DSP behind it, and then stamped and cut the woman dress with the packages, and then the to from right here, this part. Let me just put this down so you guys can see. The to from is from the double oval label punch. And so this is this guy right here. And so they just cut out a piece of white, and then you stamp the to from, which comes with this kit right here, to from. Color it up, and then I popped a hole in this because I thought I was going to tie it to the tag. And you can do that. You know, maybe get some white twine or some silver or gold, whatever color. And you could tie it through this again and then tie it to the red piece, and it would dangle. Or you could just fix it firmly with some dimensionals right here to the side, and that would make an adorable tag for a birthday gift, I think. But I'm not going to take time to color. I just wanted to show you the versatility of the set. And if you're interested, this tag is a die from the TaylorMade tags and dies. Also really good for, whoops, doing holiday tags, Christmas tags. I always do a bunch of tags every year for a good friend of mine that just loves my homemade tags, and so I'm going to do a bunch of these for her, only with the Christmas theme. This is kind of a birthday theme, I think, but anyway, so these are going to be used a lot in the very near future. So, okay. So let me show you the other cards that I made. You might have seen some of these on my social media. Oh, thanks, Darcy. Where did you get? Oh, I already answered that question. Okay, so here's the card that we made today. And then there's this card, which is very similar. It just is different orientation, and it's one layer basically. So there's that card. This card is kind of a fun fold. It's just I cut out this center section, so the card base is full, and then I cut out these two pieces to have a fun fold flip like that, and then put a little bow on the tree. Oh, I wonder if I should put a bow right here on this tree. I kind of think there's enough bow going on. So there's that one, and then this one, I used the plaid paper from the Peaceful Place Designer Series paper. Here's the snowflake again. And then this is the bouquet that I kind of put red berries in, like holly. But if you were doing a springtime card, you could do purple and yellow or whatever. And then I adorned the inside with a matching DSP. And then this sentiment came from this set right here, Christmas to Remember. So those are my delivering cheer cards. I hope you like them. Next week, I think I'm going to do the tag, Christmas tag kit. I think I'm going to showcase that. If I don't do that, then I might do, you guys will have to tell me, maybe I'll put a poll out, but I might do I haven't done anything with this set yet, the sweet little stockings. So I have the DSP to go with it, and there's dies that go with this also, I believe. Yeah, so next week is probably going to be this set or the Christmas tag set. And oh my gosh, you guys, I have boxes everywhere. Oh no, that's the Christmas card. Anyway, I'll show you guys that later. But just a reminder, I'm starting this new thing where anybody that spends any money with me or places an order with me using my host code, let me show you the host code real fast, will get a handmade card from me that I did myself personally, and also a free gift. I have a lot of celebration duplicate items that I'd love to share with you. So if you do place an order with me using this host code, you'll get some sort of free gift from me. I can't promise you what it is for sure just yet, but yeah, don't forget to subscribe to my channel so that you guys can watch me next week. Next week I will probably be, let's see, I think I need to change my live date next week to like Tuesday or Wednesday because I'm traveling Thursday. So it will for sure be Tuesday or Wednesday next week. And if not, maybe Friday, but for sure not Thursday. And let's see, there was something else I wanted to say. Oh, the Paper Pumpkin Zoom. How many of you guys subscribed to the Paper Pumpkin and got your kit for this month? It is so cute. I am so excited to play with it. We're going to do a Zoom next Wednesday at 4 p.m. Pacific and at 6 p.m. Pacific. And that's just where we sit and we craft together, and I can see you and you can see me. I'm going to have the camera set up so that you can see my face and see me crafting as well. Hopefully I'll have some fun ideas created up for alternative designs for you by then. But I do that every month with a couple of gals that showed some interest, and I would love to send you an invitation to join us. So I only send a link to those people that are interested. I don't actually make it a big public link because it is Zoom, and I think there is a limit on my account of how many people I can have on at one time. But so if you're interested, email me, Cheryl at cardsbycheryl.com, or put a message in the comments of this video, whatever, either way works, and I will email you the link to join us for Zoom. And you don't have to show your face if you're afraid to be on camera or just not comfortable being on camera. You don't have to, but you could join us and chat with us and or just hang out. So I hope to hear from you guys about that. And let's see, are there any questions? Thanks, Joanne. I appreciate that comment. She says she loves all the cards. Okay, I'm going to sign off. I'm going to clean up my mess and go meet my husband for lunch. So I hope you guys have a great afternoon, a crafty afternoon, and I will see you next week. Cheers. Bye.